Well, hello, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, September the 12th, 2022. Monday, September 12th, 2022. Today's Young and the Restless, we had a lot of talk, just a lot of chit chat going on between characters. Let's start first off with Sally and Chloe. Sally walks in, and there was a huge marketing summit that it was important for her to be at, the whole team, and she missed it. So Chloe was so upset. She was just walking out the room, and Sally walks in, and she goes, "Well, there you are. I was texting and texting and texting, and you know, she goes, well, what was going on? What was so important? She goes, the marketing summit. You missed it. She goes, no, the marketing summit is not for a couple of hours. She looked at Sally. She says, no, it just happened. I know it just happened because I was on it and I had to do the presentation. So it just happened. And there were a number of executives, vendors, wondering where were you? What was so important that you couldn't be there? So she's like, so Sally, what was so important that you couldn't be there? Oh, I had another important meeting out of the office. So Chloe looks at her. She goes, really? More important than a summit? She goes, no. That summit, I'm telling you, on my calendar. And she's looking at her phone. She goes, oh, it is here on my calendar. But for some reason, I had it fixed in my mind that it was later. So she goes, so tell me, Sally, what was this other important meeting? Who was there? Who was it with? Because first Sally says, oh, no, just, another client. No. Who was it with? I'm the COO. I deserve to know what other meeting was so important that the summit could be missed. So Sally had to come clean. She went to the top of the AC club by the pool, and she ran into Adam. So Chloe says, Adam, Adam was more important for you to miss the marketing summit? And she goes, no, but I'm just saying, and we got to talking, and what did she, I forget what word she used as to where they are and the space they're in, and so she needed to do that, to get that done. And Chloe was just like, oh my God, no, you didn't just say that, right? So Nick is talking to Victoria, and he had actually come to Victoria, talking to Victoria about his concerns. He goes, Dad wants me to fire Sally. Dad wants me to take CEO of Newman Media. And Victoria says, wait a minute. Am I about to lose my COO? What do you want? And Nick says, no, I don't want that, because this is a power play. This is just to stick it to Adam for him going to work for Jabot. And Victoria says, oh, I agree. That's exactly what our father would do. But bottom line, Nick, what do you want? Because I run the company. And he goes, no, I like the team between me, you, and Mom. So she goes, good, because I do too. She says, I love working with Mom, but I had all the confidence in the world while I was out of town making all of these deals, because apparently she closed another deal with a bunch of different companies coming up under the Newman umbrella. She goes, but I was confident that you could handle anything that came up. She says, I really love this working relationship. And so she goes, I make the decisions, not Dad. So Nick is like, well, I'm just telling you how he feels. So he says, but I do have some concerns over Sally. She seems to be off her game, off kilter here lately. She talked a good game to us, but now she's not quite following through on everything. Nick is being honest with Victoria. And Victoria says, well, you know how I feel. I feel we need someone more experienced in that position. So Nick says, well, you know what? Let's give her a little more time. Let's give her some more time. So Nick gets a text and Victoria gets a text, and that's from another head at Newman Media. They were saying Sally Spectra missed the summit today. So Victoria looks at him, he looks at her, he walks out, he's going to go see Sally, right? Sally and Chloe are just finishing up their argument, or Chloe's just complete admonishment. But as soon as they see Nick, they stop. And so Nick is like, so, hey, ladies, I just can't, everything okay? Yeah, yeah. How did the summit go today? So Sally says, well, you know what? It went so fantastic. I'm going to let the star of the hour tell you how it went. So Chloe says, no, it went very, very well. We were, handled very well. So Nick is like, you all he goes, you are actually making it sound like Sally was really there when she wasn't. And Chloe looks at Nick, and Chloe looks at Sally like, no, she wasn't. And he says, Chloe, can I speak to Sally alone? Right? So Chloe says, all right. So she's walking out the door. And once she passes Nick, she looks back at Sally like, yeah, look, see, this is your actions. Because she was saying, you're going to just run your career to the ground because of Adam. So Nick talks to her, and he's actually very firm with her, and he's letting her know, I'm very disappointed. Your numbers they looked good initially, but now they're not. They're going the opposite way. You seem to be floundering. You're not focused. Oh, he's just laying it out for her. And he goes, I want to know what's the reason. So she finally comes clean. She says, I missed the meeting because I ran into Adam. Adam, this, and this. And it's back to Adam. And Nick is like, you told us it was over, period. I know it's hard getting over a heartbreak, but you said you were moving on. And it doesn't seem like you're moving on to me. No, I do want this job. I'm going to do better. I'm going to, she's this, that, and the other. So Nick says, okay, well, you know what? You've got this kind of thing. He didn't say you got one more chance. He goes, what happened today can't happen again. So she's like, understood. And it really won't. And he goes, because I have faith in you and we're giving you the opportunity of a lifetime, but it's up to you to deliver, right? So Nick walks out and Sally's just sitting there like, oh. So Chloe comes in. Chloe says, okay, so what happened? And she says, he was disappointed that I missed the meeting. And she goes on. And then she goes, okay, so do you finally get it? You've got to be over and done with Adam. Sally has the nerve to talk about Adam and she are cut from the same cloth and they have this cosmic connection. And as soon as they connected, she knew that was the woman. Oh, I mean, she just did this whole, I'm on Team Adam, right? And Chloe just looked at her and Chloe said, you know what? You torpedo your life. You do whatever you want to do. She goes, that's it. I'm done. Done. And she turns and she walks out the door. Now, I don't know if she means I'm quitting. We'll find that out probably tomorrow. I don't know what Chloe meant, but it sounded to me like she was walking out and quitting. And you know what? Rightfully so. Chloe has had to do this for every single person, for Chelsea, for Sally, Chelsea, oh my goodness, it's exhausting. Goodness. And Chloe has 2 kids to raise. It's like we're trying to also raise 2 adult kids. So yes, I'm with you, Chloe. I'd be done too. I would be done too. So then we have Nick talking to Victoria. No, not Nick talking to Victoria. We've already covered that. Billy talking to Lily. And they're discussing Nate. They're discussing what do we do. Lily's like, we got to figure this out, or it's all gonna fall apart. As far as the family working together. And they discussed the merger. What do you think about this merger? And Lily's like, I know I get Devon's concerns, but I also, because I see where Jill is talking about we could do much larger things. And Billy says, yeah, but we would not be able to set policy. We would not be able to control things, And she goes, yeah, but you know what? Giving up certain control, that's okay. And I was listening to her, and I said, spoken of like someone who's never truly run a company. Yes, going public is a good thing in some instances, but you take a risk. And I'm going to tell you something. Once it goes public, that new board can vote you all right on out of there. So look, could get rid of Devon, could get rid of Lily, could get rid of anybody. Okay. Because they won't have that kind of control. And my whole thing was Neil would never go public. Neil was around when the whole Jabot going public. That was, and actually for a hot minute, Victor took Newman public until it started going south. And he went and he turned around and paid a whole lot of money to privatize that company again because it was not working. So it's going to be a disaster. If they go that route, Devon should say, okay, then this is what I'm going to do. I am going to buy my half of Hamilton's Winters back. I'm going to buy my half back, and I'm going to keep my company private. You all could take Chancellor's Industries public all you want. Because see, in reality, Devon is a billionaire. He doesn't need, there's no real need for the company to go public. Yes, it's never a good idea to play off of all your own money, but the whole idea was to have a family-owned company. They merged two family company, the family company together to be a larger family company. So I don't know. I don't like Jill just out the blue decides this. Catherine never took her company public, ever. So that is going to backfire. That's going to cause some definite family problems. So Lily is just saying we need to put our heads together and see, to me, one of them has to go, and it has to be the junior. It has to be Nate. We don't want to lose Nate. Nate is so no, well, you know what? Nate is not playing the game right. I'm sorry. Yes, he and Devon have history, bad history, but if it were any other COO, Lily, Billy, and yes, Devon would not stand for the kinds of things that Nate's doing in a subordinate, would not stand for it. So Nate is no exception, period. And the way, oh my goodness. So he and Elena are talking. They go to Crimson Lights. And she's saying, okay, so what happened? She's trying to dig into his feelings as to why he walked out, on the meeting. And he said that's because Lily didn't fully back him. When Jill asked her, how did she feel about my idea? She didn't back me. She sided with Devon. And I was thinking, well, were we in the same meeting? Because I could have swore I was there as if I was in the room because I was watching it on TV. And you could see Devon wasn't happy, but Devon never blew up. Devon never lashed out at Nate. Devon just, you saw it in his body language, and he goes, so it's like, I guess my decade plus experience doesn't count. That's about the most Devon said, right? Nate continued to, yes, and I hear you, and I addressed all your concerns. And so when Jill asked Lily, Lily says, well, it sounds good, but I need to look at the rest of the data. She needed to hear more because Lily hadn't heard everything. Remember, Nate pitched it to Billy. So this is the first Lily heard of it too. She goes, I would need to really look at some of the numbers that Nate's talking about. You know, on top of the fact, it is, you know what, y'all? Really doesn't matter my opinion on it. And my COO, Billy's opinion, because we run a separate division. The only opinion that matters is the CEO of that division. And keep their noses out of it. Realistically, they should have. And actually, Billy should not have said, Nate, present it now. Because before the meeting, Nate says, no, I'd rather just present it to Lily privately. No. I think it's good. And Billy brought it up. And so Lily said, when she and Billy were talking, she goes, perhaps you shouldn't have brought that up. And he goes, you know what? Perhaps you're right. maybe I shouldn't have. Well, look, maybe wasn't good enough, right? So Elena's talking to Nate, and it does. It boils all down. He says, Devon is threatened by me. He's threatened that I'm upshining him and I'm better at me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you're the one with the puffed up ego, you know, and it's me. And then he goes, but you know what? Yet again, because of Devon, yet another career of mine is being derailed. And Elena looks at him. She goes, wait, what? It's because of Devon, I'm not a surgeon. So she goes, so you resent Devon for that accident. And that was an accident because he just found out about you and I. And he thought we betrayed them. And in my mind, I'm thinking, chick, not thought you betrayed him. You did betray him, you and Nate. No thought, you did. And she goes, so if you resent Devon for that accident, do you resent me as well? And he looked at her, no, I don't. No. See, and I'm thinking, yeah, something's up. Now you're getting down to it, Nate. Now you're getting down to all of this. See, you still have a problem with Devon. You should have never accepted the position. Although when he did agree to come to work for the family company, I don't necessarily know they said to be COO of Devon's division. They just wanted him into the family company. And he said, well, what would I do? And they said, we'll figure it out. Well, no, it should have been, this is what you'll be doing and yada, right? So when Nate and Elena are talking, he sees Victoria walk in. Elena says, I have to get to the hospital. He goes over to Victoria, pretty much tells her he's leaving. She goes, wow, you're leaving a family company so soon? And he goes, oh, you know, it's not as easy or not as difficult. And, you know, you initially offered me a position at Newman. And, you know, I want to know. She goes, oh, you know, do you still have one? And she's like, well, you know what? Right now I don't have a fit for you. And he goes, oh, something will come up. She goes, no, don't rush. I just bought a whole bunch, you know, a lot of different companies, and I'm going to need a head for all of them. You know, I will find a fit for you. Just hang on, you know, but in the meantime, look, don't work it out with your family, you know, please, they're family. So he keeps it under, you know, they in their meeting on good terms, and he's still sitting at that coffee house stewing. And guess who they have walk in? Amani. Amani. And when he said he's leaving, oh, let me guess. That's all Elena. And you know, for him allowing that, I have zero respect for Nate. Zero. He was the one who single-handedly, yes, Elena did sleep with him, but Nate played her like a fiddle. He targeted Elena. He pushed Amanda to getting closer to Devon, to finding out about her mother, and having Devon accompany her on a lot, while he could then feed Elena with, ooh, they're spending a lot of time together. Ooh, he doesn't appreciate you. Ooh, Nate, he was the biggest wedge in their relationship, and he fed into Elena's fears, right? And they had just saved that client, and he was the one that initiated the kiss and the whole, Nate engineered all of that. Okay. Engineered it. and was happy to do it. So no, Nate. And so Amani is feeding all into his ego, and she says, no, don't quit. Now you need to get, what did she say? Ruthless. You need to be ruthless. Nate is still a newbie. What do you mean ruthless? Whatever he does is going to 100% backfire on him, period. Period. So that was The Young and the Restless. Let's go through comment corner real quick. We have Annette saying that thank you, friend, for the views. She loves, me telling the story. You're welcome. You're welcome. I just love narrating, having some fun, giving my opinion. LaShunta says she doesn't think Devon. Oh, she thinks Devon will regret merging the companies. I do too, 100%. I would. And she says, why is Adam sniffing after Sally? I don't know. What's Adam's end game? I don't know. To me, there is still something. And she's shaking my head why Adam is treated like crap at Newman and Jabot, that Jack needs to fix it. Yes, she does. And then Libby says she loved my dramatization when I was saying, how is it people pretend they don't know and they can't see other people, if they're in disguise. Now, Nikki's on her way to LA. She might run into Sheila. She's going to look right at Sheila and not know who she is, right? And then I think that is it. That is it for comment corner. I would love to hear your comments on today's episode, if any. I know a lot didn't happen, but I would love to hear your comments, and I will be back for Tuesday's daily recap of The Young and the Restless.